We won't go deep dive to the technical stuff today. And one more rule for today's session, we will not talk about no code because that doesn't exist. There will be low code, and that's the kind of a key for today. Okay, just to break the ice, quick intro to myself. As mentioned, I work as a partner development manager at Arrow, and Arrow is a global distributor for many vendors. Microsoft is one of the biggest, and we represent resellers in Finland and help them to sell services and licenses to the customer organizations. I'm responsible of Power Platform and Dynamics 365 solutions, and I held 12 certificates from Microsoft Technologies. Just to mention, I think I have a bullet point later on, but I highly recommend to complete certificates. Even those fundamental level certificates, they are really valuable for you yourself and to the organizations that you are part of. Then a couple of things that I do on the spare time. I try to avoid injuries while doing CrossFit. I like to build Legos with kids or without kids. I throw frisbee golf in the woods. I'm part of the ice hockey maintenance staff, and that's just a fancy way to say that I sharpen the skates and fill the water bottles. And last but not least, I'm the part-time taxi driver to my family and friends. They need my services like every day. But then the full agenda slide, and don't be afraid, it might be looking that I'm going to do the death by PowerPoint, but that's not the case. There is a lot of things and topics within this Power Platform functional consultant module, but I'll try to cover the most important ones and on a high level, so nothing too technical or anything like that. But first of all, I'll talk about who or what kind of a person is Power Platform functional consultant. What kind of tasks it might include, and then I'll tell you that why you should consider to become one of those consultants. What are the benefits, and how does the market look like for experts in Finland? I do know that you have had those previous models, and maybe you have gotten already kind of a glimpse of a Power Platform, but I'll just cover it quickly, and then we will jump to the data modeling and management. That sounds like much, but it's really crucial part when building different kind of solutions, apps, automations, and so on. So we need to cover that before moving to the solutions or tools. Then we go through the different tool sets, Power Apps, Automate, BI, and last but not least, the Copilot Studio. After the tool set, I'll talk about the integration with other services, then about the solution deployment and management, and the final part, I'll share some best practices and people to follow to get more info and best practices. So that's the agenda. So who is the Power Platform functional consultant? It's a professional who is specialized in implementing and optimizing solutions using the Power Platform toolset. And you need to understand the business requirements, processes, and while being the functional consultant, you can design the solutions and also configure them with the Power Platform tools, and always mirroring to the needs of the organization. So that's the key. And if you are moving from this different industry, like other than IT, to maybe work with the Power Platform and Microsoft technologies, the knowledge that you have from the business processes is really the key. So that's the benefit. The requirement gathering, you have to collaborate with the stakeholders to understand their business processes and requirements. So what are the KPIs? What are the issues that you need to solve using the toolset? It always start from there. And once that's kind of a setup, you can start designing the solution to solve the problems. It can be the functional designs, workflows that utilize different toolsets, and it usually it's combination of different tools. So it can be Power Apps and Power Automate together, or maybe Copilot Studio and the modern agents together with automations, or even all of them. Then setting up the solutions configuration to the customer environment and tenant, and the tenant is place where the solutions or apps live technically. And of course, training and support. So it's not just building applications or automations. You have to train and support users that are using the apps and solutions. And with Power Platform, it's really easy to get things done. Like the first version of the draft. Now it's working, but what next? So it always comes to the continuous improvement. What to do next? How to improve the solution or app or automation to work better, more faster, more efficiently, and so on. And of course, the tool sets, it upgrades and gets new features. Maybe there is something that you can utilize to make it better. And then why you should be curious about Power Platform consultant role. The Power Platform solution or technology is quite mature already, and by that I mean it's like 4 or 5 years old, and that means that the companies they are trusting the technology that it will last, and they can start using it more, and that creates high demand for professionals and even junior positions to help the organizations to create new solutions and apps with Power Platform. So that should correlate to the job market, and there should be and will be job openings for Power Platform consultants and even developers. Well, the versatility means that there is different tools that you can specialize in. But when talking about Power Platform functional consultant, you should have knowledge of the whole tool set and how those tools work together. That's the key. And later on, you can specialize, for example, to Power Automate or Copilot Studio and so on. and there is a lot of to cover, and I can guarantee that you won't run out of new things to learn. Innovation, as said earlier, there is always some new stuff coming to the Power Platform, either to the platform itself or to the tool sets. For example, now when we are facing the race of AI, the Copilot assistants are here with the Power Platform, and that means that you can build apps and automations just by typing and using your natural language, and the assistant will actually create the solution, or let's say like a framework for you without you even knowing the tool in the first place. The impact, that's pretty clear. When talking about Power Platform solutions, it's very often that we are talking about enhancing the business processes, and then there is clear value for the business to solve the problems, to make the organization work better or more efficiently, faster, or with better customer service, for example. So the impact is easy to measure. The career growth, as mentioned, you can specialize or even one day become a solution architect, and that sounds fancy, and it is, but you have to have quite a lot of experience building the solutions to get there, but the possibilities are there. And what I really like about the Power Platform is the community and the support. On the last slide, I will have some examples of people that you should follow on LinkedIn or YouTube and see the content that they are creating for the community. That's really crucial to learn from the others and share the best practices and new stuff. And here is the quick summary of the Power Platform. There used to be Power Virtual Agents, but now it's called Copilot Studio, or Copilots in this slide. And that means the chatbots and AI assistants. We have automations, apps, which are the, let's say, UI for the user. Then we have pages, which are corporate web pages, secure corporate web pages, either for internal or external users. You can think those as like a portals that you can grant an access to external users to view data from your database and maybe even input some data, and you can manage who can access the site and who can't. The Power BI, the business intelligence solution, is probably the most common or well-known Power Platform tool, and it's so widely used that I think everyone should know just the basics of the BI. It really helps visualizing the data and getting the insights from it. Power Affix, it's a low-code programming language. If you know how to make Excel formulas, then Power Affix is pretty similar. The managed environments, that's the environment is a place where you build the solutions, apps, automations, and so on. And the managed means that there is a set of governance features or tools to help the admins of organization to manage and monitor those environments and the applications more effectively. And the Dataverse is one place for the data, because you have to store the data somewhere. It can be in Dataverse, or it might be SharePoint list, or even Excel spreadsheet. You can decide. But my recommendation, don't use Excel that much. Maybe when you are practicing doing the first applications or automations, testing, that's okay. But then you can switch to the SharePoint or Dataverse. That's better. And the Power Platform is not just playing with the Microsoft tools. You can extend and connect to different services and applications through different kind of connectors. And well, there is a number 1,400, but it might be more, maybe 1,600. And these connectors make the integration or connecting really easy. You don't need spend hours building some integrations between your solution and different applications. And if there is no ready connector, you can just build your own custom one. AI Builder, that's something that you can add to your solution, bring the AI capabilities, even when you're not professional of AI solutions. So let's say that you are building an automation that will receive an email, and the email has attachment. It might be invoice or maybe an order, and you want to process the file using and leveraging AI capabilities. Well, AI Builder, it has a ready-made template for file processing, and it's really easy to implement and tell how it should process the file and what are the outcomes that you are expecting from it. So just to keep it on your mind. Okay, data modeling and management. This is important. It might be a bit dull and boring, but really important. And when I started to work with Power Platform, especially with the apps, I was always thinking that I just want to build, and let's build something. I want to see what's happening on the screen and how it works. But later on, after trial and error, I understood that it always starts with data. You have to have the data ready and in a right way, in a right place, and by that I mean selecting the data source, Excel, SharePoint list, Dataverse. And when you're setting up the data, for example, customer lists or maybe product lists or something like that, you have to consider how secure the data is, how you are protecting the data. Maybe there is some sensitive information that you just can't leak out from your applications. And as a functional consultant, this is the key when you are designing the applications or automations. You have to ensure that the data is secure. And the other point is the user access. So which users will have the access to use your app and, of course, see the data. So the user management is of course something that you have to consider. Are you granting the usage rights to a single user or maybe a user group? how that does play out, and so on. Maybe there is some compliance requirements. You might know the GDPR, for example, how the individual's data is collected and stored. Does it meet the requirements? Is it compliant? The fourth point, environment management, and the environment is the place where the apps, automations, flows, the data are located. Later on, I will talk about more about how to set up environments in a high level, but there should be like one environment for testing purposes. Maybe you have a separate one for developing the solutions, and then you have the one for production. And those separate those environments needs to be separate ones. Data loss prevention, or DLP as short. You can implement some policies like a rule sets to prevent unintentional sharing of sensitive information, and setting up these policies or rules is a key. And when the application or solution automation has been published to your users, you should want to monitor how they are using it. Does it even work? Are there any errors? How the data is moving between the data source and the application. And in some cases, the auditing part is or comes to the play. So you need to be able to show what has happened behind the hood, or on the server side. So, for example, if there is a data leakage, you need to be able to provide auditing trails for organization or even officials. So, in a summary, start with the data. What data do you have? Is it in right format? Where the data will be located, and how the app or automation will use it? Who can access it? How do you secure it? Is there something that you have to reconsider, maybe put some extra DLP, data loss prevention rules? Are you able to monitor the usage of an app or solution? And is there a need to take consider of compliance regulations? And when you have this part ready and covered, then you can move to the fun stuff. So start working with different tools. Well, of course, you can just jump into the Power Apps and Power Automate and start doing, but well, you will learn it sooner or later. With Power Apps, there is two kind of applications that you can build. I think the fun part is using the Canvas apps. So the Canvas is like a blank canvas. You can build an application and configure it how do you want. So button there. You can set up the colors and graphics and lists and so on. Just play with it. You can use it by drag and dropping elements to the canvas, and with a simple click of a play button, you can test it out. Really simple. But in some cases, it might not be the best way to build an app. If you have really structured data set. Customers, products, and orders, transactions, and so on, for example. It might be better and quicker, easier to start with the model-driven apps. The model-driven apps, they have ready forms to fill in data, views to view the data, and other components that you should, if you're choosing to start with Canvas apps, you have to build those yourself. But the model-driven app, it has those ready-made. Depending what do you choose, Canvas apps or model-driven apps, you can use the Power Automation integration with both of those. So you can extend the app with the automate functions, automations, and even with the AI Builder templates and capabilities. Power Automate, automations, workflows. This has become my favorite these days. And I have created several automations to my team and my colleagues that has saved hours, days, weeks of work time. For example, in some processes internally, we need to create unique links or URLs links for our customers. And creating one link will take roughly 1 minute. And in some cases, we need to create hundreds of them. And it's really boring to go to a portal, click through different options, type in stuff, and then wait the portal to create the link. This is a typical example of a process that can be automated. And using the Power Automate, I created a robot or desktop automation that will actually mimic the user and click through the portal by itself automatically and fill in the data from Excel file. And once it's done, the Excel file will have the links generated by the portal. And for example, this automation saves hours and hours of work every week to our team. So usually it's not that fancy that you're actually fixing with Power Platform. It can be, but in the first place, it's automations like these that will bring real value to you and to your colleagues right away. So when you have someone saying that, oh, this is so dull, I don't like spending my every Monday clicking links or creating these reports or Excel files over and over again, then there might be place for automation or even maybe an agent, but let's talk about that later. And the great thing about the Power Automate is that there is hundreds of templates that you can use. And the Copilot assistant in Power Automate works pretty well. So you can describe what you want, and the Copilot will assist you creating the automation. The Power BI, well, data visualization, that's the main thing. And the Power BI is related to Microsoft Fabric, but we don't go there today. But the tool itself, it's easy to use and easy to publish those reports and dashboards to other users and organizations. If you are building reports to yourself, you can use the tools or the tool Power BI free of charge. But when you're sharing the reports to others, then you need the paid license for that. And I forgot to mention that maybe you already knew, you have learned or heard about the developer license that will help you to get used to the tools and applications free of charge that's available to use. So if not, then I can help with that. But the Power BI, that's another thing. And then the Copilot Studio. This is a big one. We could talk maybe 1 day, 2 days about the studio itself, and it's getting more and more important as we go. So Microsoft is talking about the agents and AI assistants. They are kind of the same, but the Copilot Studio is a graphical low-code tool set to build agents and agent flows. So the agent can operate either like a chatbot. You send a message to it, it will reply and gather information based on the request by the user. But it can also work autonomously or independently behind the scenes. So for example, there could be an agent built to an organization which will trigger or start when new order comes in, and it can look up the order details from a specific knowledge source that has been defined by the makers. And after that, it can launch several automations to validate the order and get the approval, get the time schedule, and all this without the user interaction. And that's the beauty, that it can also utilize the automations, but when enhanced with the AI, generative AI, it can reason and figure out those tasks by itself. It doesn't need like a topic answer kind of a matches. It can when there is an error or a mismatch, it can reason that maybe it was this one that the user meant. So you can also create traditional chatbots with the Copilot Studio. But I would say that the AI generated chatbots or assistants, agents, that's the future way. And well, with the Power Apps and the Power Automate together, those are easy to start with, but the Copilot Studio, that's something that will generate more job opportunities pretty soon. I would say the companies are looking more and more about for the professional that can use and create with the Copilot Studio and even with the Azure AI services. But the Copilot Studio is the easier one to get started with. And then we have the integration with other services. So I mentioned already the connectors and the custom connectors. So when building the apps, flows, automations, always consider what different solutions or applications you could bring in and get the data with. So or I use a lot that I will draw different kind of solutions to a map, like creating a mind map that which is related to what, and that will help me to organize the data flows and also search for relevant connectors. And if there is no ready-made connector available, that can be created from the scratch, or use some other data integration solutions. But the connector, that's the easier one. And of course, you can enhance the solutions or applications with the AI technology, like the AI builder, or even with the Azure services. Okay, and then about solution deployment, and you have figured out an issue that you want to solve. You are taking time to consider the data security and stuff like that. You have designed a solution to the problem, and now it's time to start deploying it. So who does the deployment? What are the environments? I already mentioned that the best practice is to have separate environments for developing the applications and automations, then to test it in a different environment, and then there is the third one for the production usage. You can work with only one environment. That's doable, but that's not the way the organizations work or should work. So if you see or work with the organization that is using only one environment, you can say that you know how it should be done, and then correct them. And every organization, they will have this default environment, which is by design open to everyone. My recommendation is that don't use that. It's from the management perspective, that will be disaster later on. So either create the one extra environment for production, testing, and developing usage, or then or create all three in the first place. You should consider the release strategy when you're publishing or releasing the app automation. How often you will publish it? Is it kind of a as you go, or every Monday, every Friday? What are the training needs? Are there something new features that needs to be trained to the users? Have you considered all the integrations that has been included to your solutions? When the implementation has been done, maybe have the review how it was, and this doesn't need to be a complex one. Just ask the users, gather some feedback, maybe some areas of improvement, and then you can bring it back to the kind of a continuous improvement phase and make it better for future releases. And the training and support, that's like with every application or system, if you don't train the users how to properly use the app or the automation, it might be that the app doesn't get used that much, or that there might be that the users are using it wrong and they might be unhappy. It doesn't work as intended, as they are using it wrong. So provide the training as needed and think about the support channels. Maybe it's a Teams or email or anything like that. But it has to be visible and clearly communicated to the users. Then some best practices for future learning. As I mentioned, the Power Platform community is pretty vibrant and full of nice experts that share their experiences in different channels. And here I have 4 Microsoft's most valuable professionals that I have found pretty interesting to follow. Lisa Crosby, Matthew Devaney, Scott Duro, and Christine Kolodieski. Those three first, they have the YouTube channel and pretty nice videos and easy to follow, easy to listen. You can spend hours of just watching them to present new stuff or best practices. But my recommendation is that don't just read or watch, but try to do it yourself. Not maybe the whole thing, but part of it. So then when you're doing it yourself, you learn by doing. And for example, for me, it is easier to remember when I have done it with my hands or with the keyboard and mouse. When you're building with Power Platform tools, and even when they are easy to use and low-code tools, you will at some point face an error or the solution doesn't work as you wanted or intended. Remember that you can use different AI assistants, either the Copilot, that it's included to many of the Power Platform tools itself, or ChatGPT, whatever suits you the best, and describe the error to the AI assistant, and they are pretty good of solving the problems. Or you can ask the community. That might be a bit slower, but they are really happy to help in different forums. And if you're really interested and fired up of using the Power Platform, I really recommend of looking those Microsoft certificates. And the first one, the PL 900, the fundamentals, that's something that you can probably do without without that much of a work experience with Power Platform. But these later ones, PL 200 to PL 600, require some work history with Power Platform. So it might take some time, but just remember that those are really valuable, and the organizations really value professionals that help the certificates. And Microsoft introduced, I think it was last year, applied skills courses that you can try out, and those are, maybe it will take 1 working day, but you can test out and learn skills dedicated, for example, to Canvas apps or model-driven apps, and those are really hands-on. So easy to follow and easy to build. And when you have completed the course, you will get not kind of a certificate, but credentials or completions badge that you have done the course, and that's valuable too. Do we have any questions on Teams? Oh, there is a question. Will agent flows eventually replace Power Automate flows? Really good question. Thanks, Sanna. I would say that maybe within years of development, but automations or automation flows, they are good or better when there is no kind of a room for error. So if the process flow needs to go from A to B to C and D, then it's better than having the agent to kind of because the agent usually they have like a freedom to figure out the best way to complete the task, and sometimes it works out pretty well, and sometimes it doesn't. Of course, you can set up some guardrails for the agents, but I would say that it will take some time to them to actually replace the Power Automate flows. And there is even thing called agent flows or agent actions, and that's basically having the Power Automate flows just baked in to the agents. So I think they will play out nicely together in upcoming years. Any other questions? If you want, feel free to send me a LinkedIn connection request. Happy to help and maybe have a conversation about the Power Platform industry or working with the tools. And if you have any questions about the job opportunities, how the market look like, I can give you some insights regarding those.
Super. Thank you so much, Jani, for today's session. I hope you all found the answers. I think the session itself was really easy to understand and very simply explained. So thank you so much, Jani, for that. And thank you also for taking questions. We will be posting the recording of the session very soon on the Mimmit Koodaa YouTube channel for Skills for Jobs learning circles, and you can catch up. But like I said, all the recordings and the material that today Jani covered is also available on the Educamo website. So please do visit the page, and I hope that you will enroll for the micro degree and also maybe flaunt your badge on LinkedIn. So really looking forward. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jani, once again for hosting today's session.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.